Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to your Exploring Your Awareness. And apologies that we had a little bit of a tech issue with Mr. Producer, but we are now very much alive and ready to roll with this afternoon show, which is going to be really, really exciting. And I'm truly, truly excited and honoured to have my very special guest with me, Philippa Kingsley, and she is a certified vortex healing, divine energy healing practitioner, and she's also a psychic and spiritual medium. She is also author of the book Rising Above Grief for People and Pets. And Philippa is now based back in the UK because Philippa is English but spent some time in Atlanta, the USA, but we've now managed to get her back, especially very happy that she's in London. And so welcome to the show, Philippa, and thank you so much for agreeing to take part and share in your knowledge and wisdom of the animal world. So
thank you, Bev. Hi, Bev. Hi, everybody.
So like I said, good afternoon to everyone. So hello to Christine Davis, and hello to Christine Murray, and to Lisa Paris. Stay sure, I know you're all there. Thank you. Thank you so much, Stace. And so where are you all? Please do say hello. Hi to Michelle and Kelly. Hello. Yes. We're doing a rerun. Bev's on the naughty step. I'm always on the naughty step. You wait till my book comes out, I'll be even more on the naughty step. Right. So anyway, I'm just joking. So I invited, welcome everyone. I invited my lovely friends because we have become very good friends. Actually, Philippa and I, we either met at the Arthur College, or I actually believe it could well have been at the London Spiritualist Mission. Actually, you came to watch me on the platform.
Right. It was LSM,
yeah, it was the LSM. I think we were already Facebook friends, and you came to see me do a divine service. And we became, as soon as we met each other, we became good friends. And I know that we have spent time together at the Arthur Findlay College. And I invited Philippa along today to share with you her knowledge and wisdom of the animal world and how we can best understand our animals and pets and their wants and needs. Because Philippa is also an animal behaviorist. So she's, able to tune into the energy and the vibration of our animals. And we do choose our animals, but I often wonder, and I say animals, because it's not just dogs, cats, those kind of pets. Lots of us, some people have farm animals, don't they? And we actually believe that we choose our pets, but I wonder if they choose us as well, all divine timing and things like that. We're guided towards these wonderful pets that become part of our family. And that leads me to a question actually later, Philippa, about do animals belong to the same soul groups as us? Because I do believe in soul groups, and I have discussed it on this show, Exploring Your Awareness, before. So as this show is, hi lovely Claire, my lovely friend and medium, Claire Stoppler from Florida. How are you? How's the weather? Or do we not want to know when we're in the UK what the weather's like in Florida? If only I could get there. Stacey's saying my niece has a giant snail. See, I rest my case. I must have been tuned into that. Someone's saying they allowed their cat to choose me. Philippa's saying she's bought Philippa's book. It's fantastic. That's Rising Above Grief for People and Pets, which Philippa will give you details of later, of this wonderful book that she wrote. So as this show is Exploring Your Awareness, what is our awareness of connecting emotionally with our pets? How do we do that? Or are we already doing that? Because animals are no different to humans, and they share the same emotions as human beings. And as human beings, we are able to tap into their energetic vibration as to their thoughts and feelings, both in the physical and the spiritual realms. So today we're going to not only be talking about on the physical side, i.e. the psychic side with our pets, you know, like as to what they need, what they want, how they're feeling, how they communicate with us telepathically or however, because sadly they can't speak yet, only in their doggy or catty language. But also I want to discuss with Philippa about the spiritual realms as well, because many of us have sadly lost our beloved pets, what we call going over the beautiful Rainbow Bridge. And are we equally able to connect and talk to them? Because I know as a medium, I have very often, hi Amanda, and Amanda's saying as well, my lovely little doggy comes through on the table and it goes crazy. Yeah, exactly. So I often, when I'm connecting with spirit and I'm giving a reading, their beloved pets will come through. And I'm not an animal communicator as such, so I'd like to find out more for myself too. Claire is saying you don't want to know what the weather's like, I suppose. Hello, Lauren. How are you, Lauren? So, without much further ado, I just wanted to introduce you to the programme and what we're going to be discussing and why I'm so excited to have Philippa here. So, please welcome Philippa Kingsley. Yay! She's here.
Hi, hi, everybody.
So, lovely Philippa. Tell us, how did you first get into animal communication? What's your story?
Well,
We've
my
got some
story
lovely
is
comments. Sorry, we've got some lovely comments coming up as well.
rescue.
So just, I don't know if you can see them. Lisa saying most of her pets are rescues. Sorry if I missed a
Beautiful.
couple. Yeah. So
Rescued. That's what I specialize in as well. Animals that have been rescued. Yeah.
okay, so let's just hold the comments. Let's just hear a little bit about Philippa,
Yeah.
and we'll read all the comments as a bit later on. If I miss them, we'll come to you.
How did I first get into animal communication? I have to say, through the inspiration of my adored, beloved dogs, Vogie and Cosmo, who were English Cocker Spaniels. And basically, I adored them and they adored me, and it was mutual love. What can I say? It was love at first sight, both sides. Anyway, I always knew what they were thinking and feeling. I just knew. They're in the spirit world. They have been for a long time now. But when they were alive, I just always knew what they were thinking, feeling. It wasn't a conscious thing. It was just a knowing, an inner doggy instinct, as I say, inner doggy instinct. And when they passed to the spirit world, I was devastated. But basically, through that, they guided me to literally formally learn animal communication. So what happened, I went to a metaphysical bookstore in Atlanta, which means a spiritual bookstore in English or whatever. I still talk American, lived there for many moons. Anyway, so I set the intention that I wanted to learn animal communication. And all of a sudden, I went to the right section in the bookstore. All of a sudden, a book fell off the shelf. Well, if that's not a coincidence, I don't know what is. So I actually sat on the floor in the bookstore and I sat and read this, not all of the book. I flicked through the book. I sat there for, I don't know, a good hour reading this book, which I actually bought, as it happens. And I did buy it actually after all that, because you can't just read a book, obviously. This was meant to be. And the actual person that the teacher that taught me animal communication had been doing it in the States for many, many years, for about 40 years. And she doesn't take anybody on her courses either. You have to write a whole discourse about why you want to be an animal communicator, what, why, what, how, and everything. So that's how I learned. I studied with her for 3 years, actually, in New York and also in Arizona.
Wow.
And yeah, that's what I used to do.
Incredible.
That's why I went. Yeah.
So what came first with you? Because I know you're a medium as well. Was it the mediumship or the animal communication that came first?
Neither.
Wow.
It was actually healing. It was vortex healing, divine energy healing. I've been a vortex healing, divine energy healing practitioner for 15 years now, because you have to heal yourself before you can heal anyone else, whether it's in physical form or humans, animals, anything.
Absolutely.
So it was through that. And then obviously I had my animals with me, my dogs, my beloved dogs, Vogie and Cosmo, with me all that time while I was learning animal communication, while I was learning vortex healing, which is a process. And then when they passed, everything came together, and I learned animal communication. So I was specialized then in animal communication and vortex healing. I worked a lot with animals who had behavioral issues, who'd been rescued. I didn't go looking for this. This just unfolded naturally. And that's how it all blended together. And then mediumship came much later, much later, when I lost years after I lost my last dog, Cosmo, and my father in the same year. I write about all that in my book. That's a separate thing. But that's how it all unfolded. It was healing, animal communication, and years later followed by mediumship. But I learned to connect with animals in the spirit world, being an animal communicator, because we were taught how to do that anyway. Before I even started mediumship.
That's a really interesting route, Philippa, because most people that I know would possibly do some healing before the mediumship. I believe all mediumship is healing anyway, but they will be they'll have an interest in healing. The mediumship will come, and then lots of people think, well, let's take this a step further and go into animal communication. I mean, with me, I wouldn't say I'm an animal communicator, but when I work within my readings, I often will pick up beloved pets. They will just naturally just come in. So that's really interesting, that the route that you took with the animal communication first, that's quite unique. When you were, and I know we've had a little first run of this, so I'm not sure if I've asked you this on this time round, but what came to me before was, were you aware that you were already linking in with these pets psychically, that you had a special gift, or was it only after your lovely pets passed that you realised that you had this gift?
Yeah, absolutely. Because before they passed, I was just connecting with them. I just knew what they thought, what they felt. I just knew it. It was an inner knowing, you know.
So you just kind of think you're the same as everybody else, you know, like with it, like when I grew up, I thought everyone was the same as me, like able to connect in with other people's thoughts and feelings at a much deeper level than the next person. And I was accused of being sort of told that I was oversensitive because I was doing that. So yeah, that's very interesting that you were already doing that. And I think a lot of us do, really, don't we? You know, we have that bond, that connection with our pets. We doggy talk to them, and they kind of communicate through their eyes, you know, like the windows to the soul, how they're feeling and what they need, or what's lacking or whatever. So how long have you been working as an animal communicator? When did that start?
Officially, well, in the States, I was there for many years. About 10 years, 10 to 15 years, basically. Yeah, that's all about the same time. And I think because of vortex healing, because it's more than a healing modality, it's a path to awakening. My soul was waking up, and I don't have children. I never had children, so the animals were my children. I never grew up with animals either. That was another thing. So the whole thing was they were my children. They were my love. They were my life. They were my everything. They were my soul. Absolutely.
So tell us, Philippa, what exactly is animal communication? Because we've heard that expression so many times, but as this interview is unfolding, we can see that there's many different layers to this, isn't there?
Yeah,
What animal
absolutely.
communication is.
Right, to tell you the basics. Well, it's more than just asking your pets, what food do you like to eat? I mean, that's nice too, but it's much more, it's much deeper than that, if you really want to get into it. It's like talking and listening to a friend, another person, irrespective of the physical form, except this physical form could be furry, feathered, four-legged, or two-legged. Maybe it has a tail, maybe it doesn't. But the feelings are the same. Animals are no different. Farm animals, it doesn't matter what they are. All animals, it's not just our ding-ding pets. They all have the same feelings. They experience happiness, sadness, fear, pain, change of climate, hot, cold, everything like that. They're no different to us. They're just encased in a different, their soul is encased in a different body. That's the only difference. That's really the only difference. And so there are techniques, obviously, which we will talk about, which are the techniques, but it's, more than that, it's a spiritual experience. And when you really get into that, you're actually having a spiritual experience with your animals, if you really understand that. It's all about getting out of your thoughts and your own heads, as it is in mediumship, as we know. But it's also having the ability to listen to another person, whatever the form, in a non-human form. And as I said earlier, irrespective of whether they're furry, feathered, two legs, or four. You have to really listen, because we're so busy being busy with our lives that we forget, and sometimes we talk over animals. Sometimes people feel superior. They think they're above animals. Well, we are not above animals. We are all beings, whether it's a human being or whatever. We are all beings, spiritual beings, basically. And we do not, it's not right for human beings to think they're superior over animals. We're not. And we don't have to be condescending towards them, which some people do tend to be. But they're all pure unconditional love. All animals are pure unconditional love, unlike humans. I love humans, don't get me wrong. I'm not an anti-people person, but we are not unconditional love, unlike animals. Animals truly are. So it's like we have true friends and we listen to them. Same with all animals. They become our children, irrespective of whether we have children, physical children or not. Animals see us at our worst. Animals see it as our best. And it's still the unconditional love doesn't change. And what's interesting, you're okay
Sorry,
there?
I've got a cough. Yeah, I'm fine.
No, my darling, I know. And I will share with you all that even animals that have been abused sometimes will still wag their tails.
Oh.
Just shows you. Yeah. And I've dealt with a lot of that, abuse situations anyway. So that's the basic concept of the basics of what it is. And as I say, there are, and so why wouldn't we want to give them the respect they truly deserve, as well as our love? So let's learn to truly listen and get out of our heads, basically.
That's so beautiful. And I really love the way you said it's a spiritual experience.
Yeah.
Because it is. There is nothing like, as you said, that pure unconditional love. It's that bond. It's like an invisible bond that we connect on some kinds of level.
Yeah.
We often say, our pets see us at our best and our worst. They see us, not looking our best or not feeling our best. And also intuitively, do you not find that that our animals pick up on our moods? It's not
Absolutely.
just a one-way communication, Philippa, is it?
No.
They sense ours. I mean, even Angel, my little puppy, she's able to really pick up already, even just by the tone of your voice as well. They're so clever. They're learning all the time, and they've got all their senses and different senses, like even the senses from their nose, from different parts of their body. Their nose is so much more highly sensitive than we are. So yeah, I love the fact that you said it's the animal communication is a spiritual experience. And it doesn't have to be, the normal house pets, does it? You could be in a field and go over to a sheep and have that exchange of thoughts between you, you know.
Absolutely.
And you said it's a soul encased in a different body. I
It's a
love
soul
that as
case.
well.
Yeah.
Because I want to go on to that about the souls as well. But yeah, it's about respect, isn't it? Respect for the animals and to listen, because we have to tune in, I suppose, don't we, and be on the same vibration, even when when the pet's here. I'm talking about on the earth plane. Sorry, I've had such a bad cough. Excuse me. So, how do we connect with our animals?
Right.
Sorry. Just hand over to you.
Okay. How do we connect with our animals? This is basic with any animals. Okay. So the basis of community. You okay, Bev?
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
sending you some
I'm so
healing, my
sorry.
darling. I
Yeah.
know. The basis of
I had a
animal
really bad cough. Sorry.
the basis of animal communication is through telepathic communication, and that's the basis of it. And it can be through pictures, hearing, or just a feeling, or a mixture of all three. In other words, it could be clairvoyant, clairaudient, or clairsentient. So making it easy for people. There's no set way. Each person is different and each animal is different, and they will all respond in a different way. It's not like, oh, it's not cookie cutter. Yeah, it's all the same. We all work the same way because we're all unique. And as animals are, they are unique, all of them. Farm animals, they're all unique. They each have their own life, their own soul, everything, all of it. So what you do is you set an intention first of all. First of all, I would say actually turn off your phones. That's the most important thing. And don't put it on just vibrate, because the vibration of that is still there. And you can still, the vibration, you can even hear a vibration if you like. You can hear a vibration. I know it sounds funny. So turn your phones off and the energy is totally off. So turn your phones off is number one. Okay? Set an intention. Same as in mediumship, same as within healing. Set an intention. In this case, you would set the intention that you would like to have a conversation with your pet and truly listen to them. But first of all, and then sit quietly in meditation for about 10 minutes. It can be 15 minutes, it can be 20 minutes. It's not a problem, but don't just go into it, boom. You have to calm your own head down, your own energy down, and sort of calm your own energetic vibration, bring it down, if you like, into a relaxed mode. Not just running around. If you've been running around doing something, oh, I'll connect with my pet now. That's not the right way to do it. You have to decide, set the right intention, it's the right time, the right mood. Set the mood, as I say, set the mood. Okay. And you can, if you don't have a pet, what you can do is imagine your pet's face in front of you. Or if you have a pet to practice on, so much the better. Or you can use a picture, a photograph. And imagine your heart opening towards your pet's heart or to the animal's heart. I'm going to say animals actually, and send pure love, pure divine love. That's what you do. You just send pure divine love from your heart to their heart. You also ask permission from your pet and say telepathically that you would like to know and hear what they have to say and how they feel. So it's asking someone's permission. It's like we wouldn't go up to somebody and say, hey, what do you think? What do you do? And it's the same thing. It's having manners. It's having courtesy. It's having respect. Not just, hey, I want you to talk to me now.
I think that's really important.
Very, very important.
And I actually say that within mediumship when I'm teaching mediumship. You can't just go up to someone and say, how are you? What's your name? Where'd you come from? Blah, blah, blah. It's about, and actually I do feel that sometimes it's taught that way, and it's not, because we have to have respect, these sort of, people that walk the earth plane, and they're still, they're spirit people, and we need to honor them.
Absolutely. So as I say, you can do this with a picture or in person if you have a pet. Now your pet, I want to share with you all that your pet may be very surprised. They go, what? I'm not used to this. What's happening here? Shock horror. Heavens to Murgatroyd. It's all right, it's my humor. Okay, so your pet, your pet's surprised because it's not your usual behavior. They're not used to it. So you have to realize that you may not receive an answer, first of all, the first time. You have to persevere. It's not all of a sudden, right, here's my question. Can you reply to me? No. So basically, they are surprised usually. And when they understand that somebody gets them, understands them, and really cares, animals know who really loves animals, not just doing it, just say, hello, I love animals. Animals know, they're intuitive, far more intuitive than humans, I would add. Okay? So the answers may come clairvoyantly, in other words, seeing, clairaudiently, hearing, or they may come from your solar plexus, knowing, just that knowing and that awareness. And you can ask them to send you a picture. Ask them to send a picture in, it's obviously all this is all in your mind's eye, obviously. This is we who are do mediumship understand that, obviously, but some people don't, and that's fine. So I want to make it as easy for people to understand as possible. So you ask them to send you a picture or a thought or a vibration or a feeling. So that's the same as mediumship. But it's not mediumship that we're doing because the animal's alive in front of us in this instance. So that's what you're doing. You're telepathically having a conversation. That's what you're doing. But you're coming from your soul. It's from your soul to their soul. And you can ask telepathically, what kind of question are you? Start simple, not very big long sentences and long paragraphs, long drawn out stuff. It could be just number one, if you want to write this down. Are you happy? Do you feel well? Number two. Number three, what do you like to eat? Yes, here we got that in. Number four, what do you like to do? Number five, where do you like to hang out? And if it's a dog, where do you like to walk? Obviously, a parrot, you don't ask that one, right? Okay, because I work with parrots, I work with animals, I work with everything. And don't make the questions long and complicated. You may just receive yes or a no. You also may not receive anything. All animals will tune into your energy. And they know if you are sincere or not. They know it. Remember that. You may think you're sincere, but some people think, oh, well, I can do it as a party trick or something like that. And it's being cool and, oh, I can do that. It's not. It's deeper than that. It's giving respect to your animal just because they're in a different body. As I say, it's a soul encased in a different body to us. That's all. So if you are sincere and you really like them, they know if you really like them. And they energetically connect to your energy. It's the vibration, the energetic vibration, which we all have. But sometimes they gaze into space and sometimes they pretend not to hear you, like animals do sometimes anyway, even when you're not asking them anything, right? So it's like they're quite surprised. Wow, that's really different. So they might not, or they might not just be in the mood, like in the spirit world. Sometimes they're not in the mood or they're doing things, they don't want to talk to us. But we're not talking about that at the moment. We're talking about animals. So basically, they may not be in the mood to talk to you. You may have, the whole thing I would suggest is you have to persevere and really want to do it. And they will connect. If you really want to do it, they'll connect with that. And at some stage, when you keep persevering, they will answer you. I mean, I even see dogs in the street when I'm walking along, whether it's been in the States or whether it's here, it's in Atlanta or wherever in the States or here in London. I connect with animals in the street anyway. Animals turn around and look at me because I don't look at who's walking along with them, who their person is. I connect with the animal and they connect with me. Sometimes they turn around and look at me and it's like, you get me. You go, yeah. And they know it. Happened to me this morning, actually, with two dogs this morning, actually. I went for a walk early. These two dogs, they connected with me. One was 15 and one was 5 years old. And the owner was nice. He was a nice guy too. He was cool. And he had horses evidently as well. He told me. So it was just, there's no coincidence as to how we meet animals or people or anything like that. So the other thing you can do to get back to animals, keep on going, I would say, keep on persevering, and also call their name 3 times. Call it 3 times. That's how you'll get their attention, by calling their name 3 times, not by giving them a treat. Forget that one, okay? Because that's a different focus. So you call their name 3 times. So it's the connection, and that's the basis of animal communication. So now you guys know.
That's really interesting. And what's got me when you were saying about, and we were saying earlier, that animals pick up as well. You know, when I'm out walking with Angel or any of my previous dogs, the dog will automatically go towards someone that they like or they feel that they can trust.
Yeah.
They'll automatically, you can see, they say that you should never be with someone that your dog doesn't like, because
Absolutely.
you know, your pets have got, you know, or
Yeah.
cats, you know, because they have that natural
Yeah.
instinct, you know.
Yeah.
Why do you think I bought a dog? No, I'm only joking. That's a bit of a joke. But you know, they know who likes them, don't they? And they know who they like as well. It's like that
Absolutely.
intuition. They have incredible intuition.
Yeah. All animals. It doesn't matter, as I say, not just our pets. All animals have intuition. They know what's about to happen to them. They know what's about to happen. They feel it. They just know before we even know things. They're brighter than us, actually.
That's
Generally.
interesting when you say, and I don't want to get into a discussion about, you know, vegetarianism and whatever, but no, but that's interesting when you said about they know what's going to happen to them, because that is a real wow thought as well. So yeah, so we won't go there, but that's obviously a thought to hold.
That's another
thought. Yeah, that's a thought to hold as well, as you know, as to our own conscience.
Exactly.
So, okay, so are we going to have like a little practice of this? Can you, if people have got their pets, or maybe a photo of a pet, if you don't own a pet, maybe you've got a picture of someone else's dog, or cat, we're talking about those that are alive. We're doing this with just psychically for now. Okay, so if you've got a dog or a cat nearby, then I know you've explained the basics of it, Philippa, but perhaps we can do that. I know Richard has got, I asked for the comments to just be held for a minute. Can we just have some of the comments up so I can see while Philippa's going to be talking through the exercise? I can help people as well. Okay. Okay. Fine, that's fine. So I understand you've all been having a good old natter about your lovely pets, and that's great, because here, this is what Spiritual Psychics TV is about. It's about you becoming a family and discussing not just your lives, but your children, but also your pets as well, because they're part of your home. Christine's saying I have 4 cats and all have different characters. Interesting. Because we're all different, aren't we? So none of us are the same. I mean, Philippa and I, we get on well, but we're different personalities. Can you imagine having more than one of me?
Or me. Or me either as well. Or one another me.
So while we're just reading some of the comments, if you want to grab your pet or look for a photograph, we'll give you a couple of minutes while we just read through some of the comments. Christine's saying animals know instinctively when you love them.
Absolutely.
I have experienced this firsthand. Absolutely, yeah. That's lovely. Yeah. Sorry about my coughing fit. I've had a really bad cough and I was hoping that it wouldn't show up today. So Amanda's saying we would have a whole conversation. I would eventually find them. Lol, bless him. I miss him so much. It is hard because our pets are part of our family, and unless you've had a pet, it's very difficult to understand that grief. And we're going to be coming to that subject later. We're going to have this little exercise, and then we're going to be going on to grief. And I don't know if we're going to be doing an exercise linking in on a spiritual level, on a mediumistic, for those that want to do it. Well, we can see how we go for time. Philippa?
Well, we'll see, because that's more of a different type of this thing, but I can explain.
Okay, well, we'll certainly talk about it, because there is a big difference. I know you were telling me that when we spoke last week, that there is a huge difference between connecting in psychically and spiritually. Amanda saying my little doggy was so clever. And it's so funny because I said that, and that's exactly what Alison just said, not Amanda. My little doggy would talk to me. It would be so funny as he would pressure me to move all my furniture around to find my socks that he had hidden.
Oh, I love that.
So cute. That's so cute.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, and then we had Alison Barton. My dog was so very clever. He knew everyone's name and exactly what you said to him. He was naughty but so very funny. I always say, isn't it lucky that my dog can't speak and, say what they see? We'd all be in big trouble, wouldn't we? Sorry, it's my sense of humour. I have a wicked sense of humour. You should all know that about me by now. Yeah. So my last dog, I could read him. I knew when he was happy. I knew when he was sad. We had a true connection. And, when they pass the spirit world, that's what we really, really miss, that special connection, because it can be stronger than with our human counterparts. Hi, Heidi. How are you? If I asked mine what food they liked, it would be anything you are eating. Yeah, steak and chips. Yeah, no, not steak and chips, fish and chips, I shall say. Okay, so are we ready, everyone, for this lovely exercise? Lisa, my cat and dog can't stand each other. The cat growls louder than the dog. Why is that? Why do because the dogs don't mind the cats. It's more the cats that don't like the dogs.
Cats more territorial. Not all dogs and cats, just because it's like anything, just because, you're living in the same family doesn't mean to say you get on. It depends on the issue, where the cats come from. Was the cat a rescue? It's like knowing the scenario, how everything unfolds within the family. It's not just what the animal is, it's what's happening in the family that affects different things as well. So that's what I connect in with when I talk to the clients, basically. It's not just, I don't just do a healing on someone or animal communication. I've got to know what is going on in the family, or what's changed, because that's behavioral issues that change sometimes, even whether they've been adopted or not. That's the difference. I have to work on other things with, the cellular system with animals when they've been adopted and they've got behavioral issues. Even though they're living in a loving home, they've still got the issues because they've got fear issues, which are in the cellular system. That's what I connect with healing, with the animals, basically, and the animal communication.
And interestingly, you said about how they pick up on the vibration of the home as well, because if you live in a home where there's perhaps been some arguments or disagreements, or even without even raising voices, they're going to pick up on that vibration, aren't they? They're going to hear, sense, feel, know that someone isn't happy. And that's when you get those extra snuggles, don't you? Kelly is saying, my bird has little man syndrome. He feels like he has to protect me all the time. Oh, bless. Yeah. What kind of bird is it, Kelly? That's lovely, isn't it? I had a budgie years ago, and my mum decided to clean the cage. It was a beautiful day in the garden. So guess what happened? She cleaned the budgie's cage in the garden, and it was bye-bye budgie. I was so upset. I couldn't talk to my mum for 2 weeks. I was so upset about it. Stace, my dog smiles and looks like he's laughing when I tickle his armpits. Oh, how cute. They do smile, don't they, dogs?
Absolutely. Totally.
My dog Poppy always smiles. That's literally smiling.
Yeah, they're happy. You can see, you can actually visually see they're happy.
You can see the little teeth as well sometimes,
Pit bull smile as well. You see big pit bull smiles are beautiful.
Yeah. What about cats? Do you see cats smiling?
Actually, it's very interesting. With cats, it's very different. If you look at cats, I connect with cats in a very different way. When you scrunch your eyes closed like this, when a cat does this, if you can see me, cat kisses. And if they like you,
Oh,
That is cat kisses. Cats are very different. You can't compare a cat to a dog. Obviously, they look the same, but it's not that. Even when I connect with them anyway, they're very different. And when you go into enter a house or you see them, or I see cats out or whatever it is, you know, I literally make a point of doing that.
and
Like
make
that.
sure you're not doing a Benny Hill impression like that.
No,
Do you remember
you're not doing
Benny Hill?
Oh my God, shock horror. That's many moons ago.
I know. I'm such a young
No,
spring
but,
chicken.
yeah, but that's what cats do. That's how they give cat kisses. That's what they do.
Wow.
And cats connect, and I do. It's the same thing. It's just different. It's just cats will come to you when it suits them, whereas dogs are like, "Hey, I'm here. I want some attention." Boom, you know. Cats, it's on their terms, as we know. It doesn't matter. Animals. What do we all want at the end of the day? Love, and that's really where it's
Exactly.
at. Love. It's all animals want. And
Kelly's saying
you,
it's the green-cheeked conure, a
oh,
parrot.
Konya, a Konya. I know, beautiful. Konyas. Yeah.
I would love a bird, a parrot, or something like that. The only thing is,
Mm,
how do you feel that they feel about being in a cage?
they don't like it.
Do you let him
It's
out, Kelly?
Mm, yeah.
Oh, Rich is saying that it's all been walking around the keyboard and on his
Yeah.
shoulders and
Yeah.
everything. So, hi Amelia, how are you? How are you? That's really interesting. I would love a parrot. I really would.
Well, I would say don't, Bev, with all due
Why?
respect. I'll tell you
Why? It
later.
might answer me. It might answer me back.
Yeah. But not only that, you know, parrots live a long time. They live many, 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 many years, and they're still stuck in a cage. Even though you let them out, that's great. I mean, I've done healings on parrots and animal communication and healing on a whole parrot story. But really, it's, you know, they're still in a cage when they really want to be flying and their wings have to be clipped. So,
Shame.
and they live a long time, a really, really long time.
Yeah, I know. I've heard that.
So,
Ken
no,
is saying he's out
just
now.
stick with Angel.
Lovely.
Stick with Angel. You're fine with Angel.
Oh yeah, I'm fine with her for the moment. She's certainly keeping me busy. So, is everybody ready now to do this wonderful exercise that we've got coming
Yeah.
up with Philippa, about how we can communicate with our pets on a psychic level? So, if you've got a pet nearby or a photograph nearby, or presumably they can have it in their mind's eye, can't they,
Yeah,
as well,
definitely.
Philippa?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. So
Yeah.
if there's a pet that you want, maybe you may have a friend's pet or a family's pet that you can maybe take note of the time and see if you can ask the people if there were any changes that were going on around that time, couldn't we? It's just
Right.
coming up to 2 o'clock. So over to you, Philippa.
Right. Okay. So everybody, just sit quietly. Sit very quietly. And with your pet in front of you, or the picture, or in your mind's eye, just connect. Just imagine and connect. Just sit very quietly. We're not going to have time to meditate for 10 minutes, obviously, on this because of the timelines here, but you're sitting quietly anyway. You're connected anyway, so it's fine. You've been sitting quietly listening to us, Bev and I talk. So that's fine. That's good enough. You've got set the intention.
No gossip.
No gossip. No. That's a different ball game. So basically, set the intention that you would like to have a conversation with them. Say their name 3 times. Say their name 3 times. And imagine your heart opening towards your pet's heart, whether it's the picture, the pet in front of you, or in your mind's eye. It doesn't matter. Energy is energy. And just send pure divine love from your heart to their heart. And ask permission from your pet. Say telepathically that you would like to know what they are thinking, what they are feeling, what they are thinking, and what would they like to say? Would they like to say something? And you can send them a picture. You can do this in pictorially. Sounds very pictorially. Send them a picture basically in your mind's eye. You can try that. The picture or you can think it. It doesn't matter. It's telepathic communication. Animals, as I said earlier, will react to you when you're calm and when you're quiet. They'll send you either a picture, a thought, a feeling. Just, there's no right or wrong. Just see what comes through you. Just sit with that for a little minute, for a few minutes. As I said, your pet may be very surprised. It's not your usual way of dealing with them. It's something out of the box. You're thinking, you're dealing with everything out of the box, as you say, as I say. Now, you may not receive an answer, but you just might. A thought, a feeling, a picture. Just think. Don't second guess it. Just see what comes to you, comes through you. And you can say their name again 3 times. No problem. It's not limited as to how many times, but certainly 3 times. And you may, as I say, get a picture back from them. You may hear from them, or just that knowing. You can also ask them to send you a picture, a thought, a feeling. Ask them. And then ask a question. This is a good one. Are you happy? Ask, are you happy? Just wait for the answer for a few seconds. Are you happy? Do you feel well? What do you like to eat? What do you like to do? Where do you like to hang out? Where do you like to walk? What's the best way for me to help you? Don't make anything long and complicated. If you get another question that comes into your mind you want to ask that's easy and simple, ask it. That's fine too. I'm just giving you ideas of basic questions, easy ones, you know. As I say, you may receive yes and no. You may not receive anything. Your animals tune into your energy, and that's what they're doing. They're tuning into you and your energetic vibration. And they'll know if you're sincere or not. They know. They know. All animals know. And they're connecting with your energy. Sometimes, I mean, one of your animals, obviously not the picture, and obviously not in your mind's, you know, they might be staring into space. They might not want to answer you this time. It doesn't matter. At least you've started a process for yourself that you can carry on at home. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say. So, you know, you've got to practice at something. Practice makes perfect. And if you come from the right intention, the right feeling, and at the right time, they'll hear you. I'm very curious as to what you all feel now. What's coming through you all? As I say their name 3 times. Just sit with us for a few minutes. I know we don't have lots of time on here, but I mean, just sit with us for a few minutes. We have some time to do that, Bev, yeah?
Yes.
A little bit, whatever time you think. I've set the intention, you've set the intention, you've set the groundwork, if you like. Everything is groundwork, you've asked. What thoughts or feelings are coming through you? Do you have a picture in your mind? Do you hear the answer? Do you just feel it, knowing? And whatever it is you're getting, it can be a split second. It doesn't have to be a long drawn out dialogue. It's not, animals don't work with a long drawn out dialogue. Like, you know, they're not analyzing and paralyzing. They live in the moment. They live in the now. It's what they feel. They have the same emotions. They're not intellectualizing. It's feeling. They're far more pure than humans, actually. Far purer than humans, I would say. I would say definitely.
So if anyone's got some comments that they want to, if they're starting to feel anything, or you've received anything and you want to share, remember whatever you share is in the forum. Oh wow, he started gruffing. Interesting.
I like that. You licked me when you... Love it. I love it. This is so...
That's so lovely. Brilliant,
Oh,
Stace.
he picked up his toy. Oh, this is beautiful.
That's amazing, Stace. There's no end to your talents, Stace. Brilliant.
Mine is just being his normal brashy self. He's trying to climb on my lap. Well, he is actually. You've got your answer, Heidi, I would say. Normal brashy self, but in fact, he's trying to climb on your lap. So that is an answer in itself.
He wants
No answers or
attention.
pictures. Now gone for his
wants to
play. You have your answer, Heidi. Really beautiful. So
yeah,
cool.
I mean, how they can't speak, so they have to show us in their actions, don't they? What they want to do. It's a bit like charades, isn't it?
Charades.
Well, it is, isn't it? They can't. It's a bit like our mediumship, really, because a spirit person is communicating to us. And we're using images and feelings and thoughts. So it's the same thing, really, because it's without words, isn't it?
Well, this is beautiful.
Any other comments? Please do share with us your comments, and if you'd like Philippa to actually help you understand what you're receiving. Now he wants me to get on the floor and play tug. Oh, bless him.
Lovely. He wants you to play. He always wants cuddles or to play, but that's great. You got your answer though, Heidi. You had your answer. Beautiful.
He loves you, wants to be with you, wants
Cuddles
your
or
time.
playing. What can be better than that? Nothing.
Exactly. Wouldn't it be amazing if us humans could just cuddle and play all day?
Oh God, wouldn't it be just? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
No comment. I'm not even going to say something
No,
because I'll probably dig a hole for myself there.
We could say a lot.
Yeah. Kelly, yeah, it's my naughty sense of humour. Kelly, yes, they thrive off body language.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Can you tell the body language with your parrot, Kelly? Interestingly. Parrots and birds have body language, Philippa?
Again, they show things, their body language. Well, they squawk if they're not happy. And I had a very interesting, I won't say it now, but anyway, I had a very interesting healing with a parrot many years ago. It wasn't a few years ago, actually, in Atlanta, with a client, with a whole situation with around a parrot, big time. And it was and I actually posted it on my website as well, the whole thing of it all. King Charles Spaniel. Happy show. Oh, wow. King Charles Spaniel. Yeah, so parrots will act out. They'll act out. They'll start pulling out their feathers, for example, if they're not happy, or they'll squawk a lot. You can tell with the parrots what's happening with them. Absolutely.
That's lovely, Mary. Really, really lovely. Mary's a medium, so she's picking up mediumistically. That's fabulous,
beautiful.
Mary.
Lovely.
So while we're on that subject, please do keep your comments coming in, and if you want Philippa to help you understand what you're receiving, we are here. But whilst we're talking about animals in the spirit world, which we've naturally come to that, as Mary's brought that up, how do we deal with the grieving process? Now, I know you've written your book, Rising Above Grief of People and Pets.
Right.
But if you could just tell us a bit about the grieving process, because I often see, on Facebook, sadly, lots of pets going over what we call the rainbow bridge. Talk to us about that, please. And also what's the difference between connecting, with animals and in spirit or human?
It's different. There's a similarity, but it's different. Okay, and it's not a psychic connection. It's a mediumistic if they want to come through. But to get onto that, the grieving process is like an emotional earthquake, and that's actually how I would describe it. And that's how I describe it in my book, which was channeled. It was all channeled through me. This book, because I went through the depths of everything. I'm really, as I said, it's in the book, but it's very difficult because even if some people say to me, they've got children and, they've lost kids or they've lost other people in the family, but it's very different when they've actually lost an animal. And they basically say they can't believe the depth of the emotion, because basically what happens, your heart opens up Your heart opens up with the grieving process, whether it's, you know, a human being or an animal, your heart opens up. And it opens up to such a degree that, you know, before it closes down again to the same way as it was, but it would never go back to exactly as it was. So you have to work through the grieving process. It's no use blanking it off, or I would say, go get another dog or get another animal. You have to work through the grieving process of how you're feeling, your emotions. Because the same as when we lose a person or we lose a pet, they're all right. If they were ill when they've left us here and they're ill, we're in the spirit world, they're fine. They're no longer ill anymore. It's we who are left behind that are doing the grieving, and we are devastated. All of us. I've been through it twice, and many people have been through it. You see it, and when you've been through something, the empathy you have for somebody else that's gone through that, it's, you know. And I was guided to write this book after I lost, as I say, my first dog. I'd never experienced the depths of it, and then the second dog, and my father the same year. So I was guided to write the book, and I have a chapter in there. I just want to share this with you, and I'm going to say this to you for everybody to help you about animals. And it's on actually page 27, but I'm just going to say this. It's called Helpful Healing Tools. I'm just going to read out the headings. Have a burial ritual. Very important. Helping your children understand to say goodbye. Express yourself in writing. Make a memorial. Things like that. It's honoring, you know? So make a memorial. There's one other bit here. I want to say this as well. Missed this bit here. Yeah. Pay attention to what your other pets are experiencing, what they are doing, how they are acting out, how animals that are left behind grieve also. It's not they don't know, they do. Honor and release your feelings and nurture yourself. Take good care of yourself. You know, you can honor your pet, support an animal welfare organization, whichever one you like. Seek spiritual support. And then find healing using, this is what I used to do, using vortex. Well, I use vortex healing for people, or otherwise I work with, you know, if somebody wants to connect with an animal in their pet in spirit, that helps them. Not everyone wants to do that, and that's fine, but that's what I help people to do. And when you've been through the grief of losing a pet yourself, you're so immersed with the grief within yourself, you can't connect yourself at that time anyway. You need somebody outside to do that. And there's no set pattern, there's no set person. I always say people come into your energy field when it's right. People come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And that relates to anything in life. So it's honoring how you're feeling and about your pet and your grief, because they are fine. And they are upset, same as a human being. They are upset they see us in such a state. Of course we're in a state when we lose somebody, and that can go on for a year, 2 years. It takes time to get over that. And if people are saying to you, oh, get over it, it's only a dog, it's only a cat, you know, get another dog or cat, give those people a wide berth. I call that basically to say, okay, whatever, but then sort of let go of that. They don't understand. You have to honor who you are and what you're feeling. People, not everyone does understand. You can't try and make somebody understand. And sometimes people don't understand until they've been through something themselves. And that's another thing. That's a way of learning how we learn in life. You've been through something, you experienced something yourself. And it's the shock of it all. As I say, losing a beloved pet is like an emotional earthquake. It really is. It takes time getting over it. There's no doubt about it. So within the headings I've given you, within the book, there's a lot of the stuff that I've written to help you. So I'm just sharing that with you as part of your journey to help you if you have lost a pet. Because we all need help. And talk to people that understand. And, you know, your pets in the spirit world, you know, they will sometimes send somebody to you, or they maybe send another animal to you at the right time, or you're tested. Are you ready? Are you not? I had a situation a few weeks ago with a client, actually in the States, so I still deal with clients in the States still, and helped her with that situation. She wasn't ready, and her dog wasn't ready to bring in another animal into their home. She thought she was ready, but she realized she wasn't. So it had to go back in. She thought she tried to foster it, but it wasn't right. So the dog didn't want it either. Absolutely. So it's a whole process of this.
Divine timing, isn't it? And interestingly, because you know, my first dog was Candy. She was a Havanese, and she was gorgeous. She was so clever, and I'm sure that she sent me Angel. I've had other dogs in between, But I'm sure she sent me Angel, and actually, June Malcolm was just saying, I'm sure little Angel is ruling the roost. Yeah, she does at the moment. Yeah, she's such a joy, and it was really strange because I always knew that I'd get like an apricot poodle. She's not a poodle actually; she's a Cavapoo, but they kind of look the same. Her dad's a red poodle. And it's like this knowing. So I don't know where that came from, but I always knew. And it was more than a desire to have a dog like that. I just knew it would come to me. So it's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Absolutely.
How things come to you at the right time.
Mm.
So, Philippa, we've got some other comments here. Stacey saying, I would like to ask, how can I get him to not be anxious when I leave the room? He has terrible separation anxiety. He hates it when any of us are out of his eyesight, or he can't get to. Yeah, I have that. I mean, Angel's just a puppy. The only time she is good is when I put her in a crate to go to sleep at night. She doesn't do it then, but if I walk out of the room, she'll start crying.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I feel that Stacey, knowing Angel anyway, knowing you, that's like, she's got you round her paws. That I know. She's gorgeous, adore her. But anyway, so I'd say to answer Stacey's question here, I feel I would want to ask first of all, was your dog if it's a dog actually, is a he or a she? Is he a rescue? Was he a rescue? It's one thing I would ask. I would also want to know with Stacey, is not now this minute, but I would have to do a healing on this dog. I need to know there's more situations going on within the family, and I feel that actually there's situations going on within the family, because animals don't just, it's more, this is separation anxiety, and there's a reason for this. So that's what I'm feeling. I don't know anything about you, Stacey, or your dog, or the situation, whether he was a rescue or not, but that's just what I'm feeling. It's more than just, and then there are behavioural issues that are acting out from this. That he's it's not just, tell a dog not to do this. That's fine, but it's more than that. I would say he certainly needs healing, but I would want to know what's going on in the family and what's caused it, because it's like anything in life. There's a root cause of always. There's cause and effect. That's what I would share with Stacey, actually.
Interesting. Very interesting. And lovely. So thank you for that, Stace. Heidi say, my American Bulldog will trash a room if I have to shut him in.
Yeah.
I have to have locks on my doors as he can't open them all. Wow.
He's Houdini. Wow. You've got Houdini there, Heidi. He's got locks, and he doesn't like to be shut in. Again, was he a rescue? I would ask that one. Was he a rescue? And again, I would want to know more about it. It's not just black and white situations, because it's not just, fluffy situations here. When we've got animals acting out like that, there's a reason, and you have to work out where you leave them, what you leave them, what's happened as well. No, he wasn't a rescue. We had him at 8 weeks old.
Yeah.
Wasn't a rescue. Yeah, he wasn't a rescue. Yeah. We have to look at what's happening as well from his mother or her mother, Stacey's mother. Anyway, he was at 8 weeks old anyway. Again, I would want to know where he came from and how he's been brought up and what's happening within the family thing as to how he's acting out like this. Mine is fine if I leave the doors open, but if I shut the doors, he will trash something. He's 12, so he should. Well, he should have grown out of it, but he didn't, because it's in his cellular system. It's something that's ingrained in him, basically. So there's a fear. It's fear-based. This is fear-based. He doesn't want to be shut in.
Do you think as well it's because when they're little, we shower, and I'm not talking about Heidi and Stace here, I'm just talking generally. Do you think it's because when they're little, when they're pups, or kittens, that we give them so much of our time and attention, especially when they're going through that cute stage, that all of a sudden, they're sort of like expected to not have that treatment? I mean, obviously we still make a fuss of them, but it's not like to the extent when they were little. And I do actually remember someone saying to me, if you intend to leave your dog quite a bit when they're older, you should get them used to it when they're small, when they're little. So what do you think?
I you could all, yeah, there's obviously it's behavioral things, because when a lot of animals have that, it's a pet, you know, it's sweet, it's young, it's cute, it's cuddly. When they get older, it changes. And also the dynamics, if somebody's working, going out of the house. At the moment, we're all at home at the moment, as we know, worldwide. But anyway, but I'm talking about, generally speaking, you know, the change comes when people are going out. You know, you could also give your dog, you know, a t-shirt. You could give your dog or cat one of your t-shirts, something that's got your smell on it, something that's got a smell. But I still feel that most of these, I'd still want to know, with some of these situations, it's just not black and white, okay, get on with it type of thing. It really isn't. You have to know what's going on in the family, and how the behavior in the family, and how you can help. It doesn't just happen or come out of the blue. It's how we are, how we act, and how we react to things, obviously. And some people shout at animals, some people don't. They get frustrated, the whole thing. But then it's looking, what's the animal's wants and needs? What does the animal feel? Why is it behaving like that? As I say, a dog being shut in, had him from my daughter 6 months with having doors shut. Yeah, but there are reasons as to why. It's not going to happen just 1, 2, 3, as to, you know, get over it all. It really isn't. Had him from my daughter at 6 months. This Heidi saying, yeah.
Yeah, he got worse when his brother got out and run over, but that was 8 years ago. So do you think that that her dog is connecting in with?
Well, the vibration of that is still there. The vibration of that is there, obviously. But I'd say he went from her daughter to her at 6 months, so that's another change. And we don't know what the situation's like with your daughter, Heidi, you know, with any. I'm just looking at the backgrounds of everything, you know, and why did she give him to you, as to why, and was he a rescue? Was he not? Why did she let him go? Okay, and there's a thing about having doors shut. So obviously he's experienced that. There's a fear thing going on here, and it got worse, as I say, when his brother got out and got run over. So he had the energetic vibration of that within him as well. So it's more than just a black and white situation. There's lots of shades of grey here to look at everything, you know, and that's what I look at, and that's how I work with people over these situations, you know, how we can get through it.
And it's based. Mine?
Oh, sorry, me? Is that better? Yeah.
So so a lot of it is based on intuition, really, isn't it, as well? So some great questions that we've had. Christine was talking, mentioned something. It's gone now. Mary's saying, when we went out and couldn't take her with us, we used to tell her that she was in charge of the house while we were out.
Yeah, that's good. That's great. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think sometimes as well, I mean, for me, and Angels Apart, it's sometimes the owner that's anxious more than and they probably pick up the anxiety.
Absolutely.
Will they be okay? So maybe if we exude more confidence, because if there's telepathy going on, ESP, that is the transfer and receipt of thoughts and images. So if we're concerned, for example, that the dog is going to Heidi's dog, that is going to mess up the room, Heidi's going to be anxious that that's going to happen, and the dog is kind of picking up on that. Maybe it's kind of like an expected behavior where we're not willingly wanting it, but it's kind of like our thoughts, because I always believe that our thoughts create our reality. So if we're thinking it, even if we don't want it to happen, maybe the animal's picking up on it as well.
Well, animals pick up all our stuff anyway, their emotions, you know, and they pick up if we're ill. They take on our stuff also, you know. But it's changed behavior. I mean, looking at Heidi here, she got him as a puppy and was heavily pregnant, so that's the whole thing. The life changed at 6 months old, and often sometimes, you know, this is the whole thing. What's happening in what's happening in a family? So she was pregnant. Her daughter was pregnant, heavily pregnant, and then she decided probably, you know, she couldn't deal with it, and then there's a baby, and that's when you often get situations happening. Also, people, you know, the puppy is like, if you like, the adored one, if you like. All of a sudden, somebody gets pregnant, and then often it changes the dynamics in a family. And sometimes people get rid of animals after they've had a child, or in this instance, no, they get rid of them all. You know, as you went, you know, gave them to hiding, you know, which is fine. But it's the change of the dynamics, and as the young animals, they're affected by all of this. Much as we like to justify things to ourselves, you know, it's much more than that. It truly is. I always say, turn it around. How would you like to feel? How would you feel? You know, if we were in different situations, we just think of things from our perspective, not an animal's perspective. As human beings, often.
And again, not talking about Heidi here. I'm talking generally with lockdown. There's been so many lockdown puppies, you know, like even when I go and walk with Angel, people say to me, oh, is she a lockdown puppy? I said, no, I just wanted a puppy. But there are going to be, you know, when, please God, everything gets back to normality, there may well be many abandoned animals. And people like you are going to be very busy with that, because sadly there will be some that will be surplus to requirements when people go back to work and normal life. And you know, like they say, a dog isn't just for Christmas, it's a lifetime. It's a real life change. I mean, even for me, you know, it's a life change. So let's just get on to what the difference between connecting with animals in spirits. Can we just talk about that, and then I'd like to sort of move on to the healing modality as well before we finish. So just talk to us about, because I know that I pick up animals in spirit.
Sometimes animals, like, you know, you pick up animals. A lot of me to pick up an animal will come in and say hello, if you like, you know, hi, you know, exit stage left or stage right.
Well, they come in, they run around, they just make their presence known, what colour they were, sometimes what breed they were, and their personality. They'll be running around their feet or something. That's what I get.
What I do when clients come to me for an animal communication, or a spirit, an animal that's in the spirit world, basically, and they want to connect with an animal in the spirit world, I'm just doing that. I'm not doing anything else. So how I work personally, for me, it's everyone's different, and there's no right or wrong. This is how it came through me, basically. I literally have a picture of I speak to the client first of all about what happened and what transpired and all the rest of it, because you can't just do something for someone without knowing what it, you know, if they've lost a pet, you need to speak to them. It's healing that's going on here, obviously. It's not just, you know, what I call a doctor's visit, here's a pill, you know, it's not that. So basically I talk to them, and they want to talk it out as to what happened, how it happened. And I ask them, I say, if there's any questions you want to know, let me know. Send me an email of what questions you want to know, because sometimes people do, sometimes don't. And I said, I can't promise how it's going to come through and in what way. I said, send me a picture. Send me a couple of pictures. And I said, what I really need is a picture that's like a portrait shot of your pet, recent one, not an old one from years ago when they were a puppy or something, or whatever the situation is. Tell me the situation around it. And then what I do, and then I say to them, and then I don't do it with the clients. Obviously, I have to connect with the pet. And sometimes animals won't come through. You can't, it's like somebody in the spirit, it doesn't want to come through that time. You can set the intention. If don't want to come through, they won't. So how I work, for me, is I work late at night I'm a late night person anyway. So when I'm doing this, it's not first thing in the morning, it's at night. And it can take me a few days to make the connection. I start doing it a certain way, all sort of Buddhas and things and other sorts of, all around here anyway, I always have had. And I have a healing room. And basically I start connecting, and I set the intention. And the pet in the spirit world knows that, because the animals know who they want to come through. They normally know, and they'll put you through with someone. Actually, they'll put you with somebody that's going to connect with them in spirit to help with their person that they've left, because they know that they're suffering and grieving. So again, and what comes through me, and then everything comes through me in a torrent. And when I do start connecting, I write everything down. It just comes through in a torrent. It can be about 4 or 5 pages of everything. And I ask the questions as well. And the questions sometimes get answered in a way, not as, right, this is the question, what this, what that, whatever. They'll come through in a different way, because we get what we need, not always what we think we want. That's the difference. And the way the questions come through, and the way things come through on a spiritual level anyway, so that the healing comes through that way. And so then what I do when I've got the messages and everything's come through, I then ring the client, and then call the client, doesn't matter if they're in the States or they're here, and then I read it over the phone to them. And then I send it to them. Either I take a picture of it and send what's come through, or otherwise I'll type it up. And it's not edited or grammatically beautiful or punctuation. It's as it's come through in a torrent. And that's how I work for me, and that's how it comes. It's been like that for years with me. I didn't go looking for this. This is how it happens. More and more and more. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Bye, June. Thank you for tuning in. You'll pick up the rest of it afterwards. Yes, we started late, so thank you for joining us, lovely June. And that's interesting what you said, Philippa, because as you know, I had a reading, a mediumistic reading with a lady, and I brought forward 3 or 4 of her loved ones in the spirit world. And when you, as have that feeling into the reading that you haven't got who they wanted, and I said to this lady, I feel like I'm missing something, and she said, actually, I only wanted to talk to my pet, and she was really distraught with the loss of her dog, and I referred her on to you, Philippa, and that was actually quite it was quite tricky, and I'm glad that I did that, because I do feel it's about supporting not only the client but also people, that we can't all be experts in every different field. We all have different bows to our arrow.
Absolutely.
And I know that you were able to really help her and give her what she needed. And she wanted more than, she wanted an in-depth conversation, which I would not have been, I have done a little bit before, but I actually didn't feel the connection with her pet that she wanted. I know you said it wasn't an easy one, but she got there in the end.
Yeah, she did.
Good. Kelly's saying lots of birds have been abandoned this year as people working a lot from home now. Mostly the fact that people get fed up with the noise. So if anyone has 20, 30 years, there's plenty of rescues out there.
Absolutely.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Any more questions on spirit? Excuse me. Just catch me. So let's just talk about animal healing, and using animal communication and vortex healing to facilitate the healing. I will leave you that question while I cough away.
Yeah.
Sorry.
My heart goes out to you, Bev. I know. God, wow.
Well, the show must go on. You'll do most of the talking.
So basically, I'll talk. Yeah. So basically, when I do a healing, if there's behavioural issues or there's health issues, first we'll say if there's a health issue, I would always say to somebody, have you checked out everything with your vet? And if you've checked out everything with the vet, because I won't sort of say I'm above any, we're not above anything, any of us, whatever, I don't sort of diagnose, have you got this? You're not allowed to diagnose, and I wouldn't anyway. That's not where
it's the same with us as mediums. When people come to us for a reading, we're not doctors, so you're not a vet. I get that.
You don't like what your doctor says, that's a whole different ballgame. But if something, you go to the vet, for example, we do a physical thing, and everything checks out with the vet, there's nothing wrong physically, then it's okay, you've done that, which is fine. Then what's happening? There's other things happening. What's going on in the life? What's happened in your life? What's changed? And often someone's a behavioural issue too, or otherwise sometimes, if somebody's adopted a dog into their home, it's from a rescue or a foster or something like that, and it's got behavioural issues from its previous life, not previous incarnation, from its previous where it was before, I'm talking about. Okay, and even though it knows it's in a really happy home and it can see it's in a lovely environment, it takes time, and it still acts out all different things. It takes time. You need a certain patience to deal with rescues. You need the right patience and understanding behind it. So what I do with that, I use vortex healing, and I used to go and see animals, actually, obviously,
Can I just stop you there for 1 second? What is vortex healing for those that don't know?
All right. Okay. I'd love to explain that. Okay. Okay. Brilliant. I didn't know if I. Good. Great. Love to explain it. Perfect. Vortex healing is a healing modality. Okay, but it's also a path to awakening. You can say, what's awakening? Pure divine love. So that's where I'm coming from. But it works at the root cause of people's issues. It works at the mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, and karmic level. So it works at the root cause. So in other words, it works at basic things. To put in basic terms, it works at fear. Fear of change, fear of stuff, fear of moving forward. Issues of self-worth. Do I love myself? Do I like myself? Do I deserve? Am I good enough? Issues of forgiveness. Because in life, if someone's done something to you before, they're not thinking about it. You're the only one that's walking around like the hunchback of Notre Dame or with a ball and a chain, dragging it with you into this life. So you have to forgive yourself in life. It doesn't mean to first before you can move on. It doesn't mean to say you condone what the other person's done. No. But you cannot. Forgiveness only comes from you forgiving yourself for feeling like that and realizing that everything in life is a learning lesson. And I work with people and I work with humans on this. People and animals, I mean. Animals are far more pure than humans, okay? So when I'm working with an animal, all this stuff is stuck in our cellular system. And the same thing with the animals, the fear is stuck in the cellular system. So what I do is I connect with them, whether I'm doing it obviously I used to go and see animals, obviously, but obviously I'd work around the States, and obviously in England we can't see animals at the moment, or sometimes we can, whatever. You know, I work through a picture anyway, because energy is not trapped in a body, in a physical body anyway. So basically I'll work on the cellular system and through certain protocols within vortex healing. And that's what I do. And I connect with animal communication, and I tell the animal I'm there to help them, because it's like, who are you doing stuff on me? Who are you? Whether it's a cat, a dog, you know, whatever it is, or a horse, or anything like that. So I'm working in the cellular system, and I'm working with fear mostly. With animals that have been rescued, it's working with fear, and that's the level. And then when they're in a loving, I've had a situation recently with that, actually, with a dog, actually, adopted in the States, actually. And spoke to the clients twice, a couple of times. I thought they needed a few healings, but after the first time, it was fine, and I kept in touch with them. The dog was knocked out for a couple of days sleeping. It was like zonked out, because I'm working in the cellular system. And it was after that, it was like changed completely. And she put the dog on the phone. We did it on WhatsApp video. It was great. And then I called out to the dog. I won't say the name, okay? I called out to the dog, and it was looking at me, and it sort of zoned out. Like, it was.
I can just imagine a dog with a phone in its hand.
No, it was basically it was on its parents' lap, if you like. You know, it was a whole situation around it, and it was so loved. It had two loving people it had been adopted into from a horrific life, from a horrific life beforehand. Absolutely awful. From a puppy mills. Oh, that's another subject completely. I won't talk about that now. But anyway, so it works at the cellular system basically, and it works from love. When you're working from love and all this stuff that's stuck within us too as human beings, it's releasing all of that on the different levels. It's like peeling layers of an onion. Put it in those terms. It's peeling the layers of an onion. So you become awakened to your.
That's beautiful. And I do believe, like with all healing, and I'll stick by this, that we do not need exams to be a healer. You know, there are certain protocols, and if you belong to certain unions or healing guidelines, and that's based on touch. You mustn't touch somebody now because you're open to being sued. But many years ago, healing was done just absolutely. pure love. And in any case, for me, healing is about pure love, pure unconditional love. And it's about the pure desire and intent to heal. And if you're coming from that place of love, you don't need an exam to do that.
You don't need an exam. You just have to have you have to have healed yourself first, do healing on yourself. It's got to come from the spiritual heart, from the essence of who you are, basically. And there are techniques on certain things or whatever we do, whether it's vortex healing or trance healing or whatever, doesn't matter. But when you're coming from the right intention, which is love, basically. And yeah, and everything's divine timing in life, as I'm always saying. Everything's divine timing.
I agree.
That's what I would share.
It's been absolutely wonderful having you here today, Philippa. Thank you so much for your time, for coming on here. And I don't know if anyone's got any more questions. Stacey's saying it's been amazing. Christine,
thank you,
says she really enjoyed it. If anyone wants to contact you, Philippa, can we just have your details? I know it's been coming up on the thing, but just tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got my website, which is www. You don't need that anymore, right? Okay, so it's healingpeopleandpets.com. Healingpeopleandpets.com. And it's AND, and. Okay, so healingpeopleandpets.com. That's my website. For that. And my email is Philippa, but it's spelled PHILIPPA, just to mention that to everybody. PHILIPPA. So Philippa at healingpeopleandpets.com.
That's lovely. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. That's been a really, really wonderful and insightful show. Just to hear you speak. You know, you really speak from the heart, and it's the pure desire and intent to heal and communicate with our beloved pets, whether they're here or in the spirit world. It's been really, really very interesting. And if anyone wants to more information on me or contact me, I'm sure that my Facebook page has come up, which is at Bev Mann Medium page. My website is bevmann.co.uk. You nearly got me with that www. So it's bevmann.co.uk. Sarah is saying thank you for an interesting afternoon, Bev and Philippa. You are very welcome. Sarah's saying she's got 12 cats. She's going to practice on 12 cats. Wow, you're going to have a busy time. Mary is saying thank you for an interesting afternoon. So I also just want to say that I do have a workshop coming up on the 2nd of December, which is with the Fox Pioneer Centre. There's a few places left if anyone would like to come, which is the emotion while we're talking about and I've also got some lovely charity events coming up, which will be revealed soon. Kelly's saying thank you, Bev and Philippa. Richard, it's been lovely as usual. Thank you so much for all your wonderful contributions, and it's really been interesting listening to your about hearing about all your pets and seeing how Philippa can help you. So let's just see what is coming on later on today before we say our final goodbyes. Let's see what else is coming on. Tonight at 8 o'clock, we've got Ashley Robinson, Being Spiritual. That's at 8 o'clock with the lovely Ashley. I'm sure it'll be very interesting, as it always is. And we have some more shows that are on tomorrow. We've got our normal evening of mediumship, which is Saturday evening at 8 o'clock. And is that with Ivan Lee? So that's coming up now. There we go. A demonstration of mediumship with Ivan Lee tomorrow night at 8. So there's one show tonight at 8 and one tomorrow at 8. So lots of interesting things. Sunday the 6th of December, We've got Polly, Hartnett, and Leah. I can't read it because it's been cut off. That's the trance demonstration, and there is a small charge for that one, but that's going to be a lovely demonstration of trance. And I'm back here in 2 weeks' time with another interesting topic, and I will be revealing what that is very shortly. So please do follow my page, Bev Mann Medium page, or Bev Mann Mediumship from the Heart. And thank you so much to Richard, to our producer, for keeping Spiritual Psychics TV alive. Oh, there's apparently, I'm just hearing in my ears, there is a ghost watch tonight at 10 o'clock. Interesting. Who's that with? Oh, Richard's hosting it. Oh, it's being... Right. Okay. Okay, so he's just telling me in my ears, it's in the studio, and we will be watching out in the studio for the flashes, for anything that's going on, anything unusual. So I believe that they had quite a lot of action going on there last night in the studio, and it will be on again tonight at 10 if you're free to join. So I'm back in 2 weeks, which I believe is the 4th of December. We're almost in December. And just leaves me again to thank Philippa Kingsley so much for being my very interesting and informative guest. So thank you, Philippa.
It was a pleasure. It was wonderful being able to share everything with you, with everybody. I'm very happy. Much love and light to everybody. Love and light to all your animals.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So spread all that beautiful light everywhere. So thank you so much. I'm Bev Mann, and I will see you again in a couple of weeks' time. Have a wonderful couple of weeks. God bless. Be safe. Bye.
Bye-bye.